Why companies franchise is a really interesting question, and it's a question that appears straightforward, but is often not. Companies often franchise for different reasons. There's actually a lot more to it. Sometimes companies have even experienced advantages that they've never even envisaged. And why companies franchise is also a question that management researchers have invested considerable time in over the last now 40 years. And that focus is not to question the value, but to really try and isolate the principal reasons or rationale. It was also a question that I personally asked as part of my own master's thesis some 20 years ago. And following that, I went to go on and complete my doctorate researching franchising. Here at Franchise Consultants, we have a further 26 years of working to help companies investigate and implement franchising to draw upon. And we help companies of diverse sizes of industries. It'd really be hard to name an industry that we haven't helped investigate or implement franchising. We've worked across retail and many subsectors, including food, but also telecommunications, health food, shoe stores, liquor stores, and so on. We've been heavily involved in oil and gas, including lubricant distribution, fuel stations, LPG distribution. We've done further work relating to the automotive sector, like tyre retail, auto service centres, and warranty fitness specialists. We've extensive home and commercial service work. We've worked in education with childcare education providers, including universities. We've extensive building and construction related work, ranging from home or commercial builders through to subtrades and related services. We also have considerable financial services related experiencing, which ranges again from banking and finance to insurance and advice. And we've also done work relating to postal products and services, including current and future states. Our own research with these different businesses really exemplifies the different reasons and rationale for individual organisations. And the reasons really differ by company and circumstance. Franchising isn't for every business, but it can provide a number of potential commercial levers which in turn really depend upon the circumstance. And that circumstance might depend upon the individual business model, the stage of the business or industry development, the environment, or the shareholders' own motivations and strategy for their business. Perhaps surprising to some people, it's not always about growth, nor is it about access to other people's capital. For one large company, we recently identified no fewer than 16 different franchising specific levers that were unique to their business. So it really all depends. Notwithstanding all of the differences and the nuances, there are really three main advantages. And those advantages relate very basically to access to capital, to people, and to time. And they tend to attract most companies in the first instance. With the first point, money or access to capital, franchisees provide that capital to open sites or purchase existing ones, and that means the franchisor doesn't have to find or borrow the funds, which is clearly an advantage if they don't have the resources to open new sites as fast as they'd like. The second really common point relates to people, or motivation and incentives. And because franchisees invest in their businesses, they're motivated to develop and make a success of their enterprise or enterprises. And because of this, they'll often be more productive than the employee-manager counterparts, and this improvement can sometimes be reflected or felt right across the business, covering presentation of the business, sales or expense and cash flow management, really just better local decision making and effort. Not always, but often. And sometimes it can really count, and some particular businesses and industries really benefit from this concept. The third point relates to speed or time, and the usual options for growing a multi-outlet operations are opening more company stores or franchising. And here, franchising can really dramatically speed up growth, which in turn can provide economies of scales and sometimes first mover advantages or really defensible market positions. There's obviously a lot more to it than this. And for example, there are a number of subtleties and additional dimensions related to each of these areas. And it may be interesting to some people that franchising, in our experience, is often less about access to capital, but more about factors relating to people. And just the good incentive franchising provides to both franchisors, but also particularly franchisees alike.